The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Well, it is Wednesday, the 22nd day of May, 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman, and Teo Dill will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Folks, it's hump day, whatever that means for you all, because technically it's the other side of the week, since there's only one day left for those in Bermuda due to the Bermuda Day holiday. So is anyone playing like soca music yet? Like, isn't this when people start ramping up the soca and getting into party mode? You know what? Yeah, this is the time, right? We get into party mode usually this time of year. Ramp up the music. Bermuda Day represents getting your swim trunks out, getting ready to go aboard. The boat should be ready. Yeah, this is good time. This is good time. How's everybody feeling? Everyone ready for summer? Everyone ready to tell me something. Is it a rule that like people still wear white like after like Bermuda Day and until Labor Day? Like, is that still that summer rule? Or am I tripping? Because I feel like I would wear white any day of the year. The only rule I learned is never wear white at a wedding, because you know, the person, the couple may feel like that's offensive. But how's everybody feeling out there? It is we're 2 days out from Bermuda Day. Suzanne Ingham says, awesome Wednesday, Jamal. An awesome Wednesday to you as well, Suzanne. Are you ready for the holiday, Suzanne? It is actually by-election day as well for some of you. I think, Suzanne, you're one of them as well. So by-election, I know Teo is probably going to ask me, am I standing by my prediction of a Lindsey Simmons victory? I'm still thinking on it. I'll let him know once he comes in for the news break where I stand on that. But it is by-election day. Down in constituency 10, the seat that was left vacant by the retirement of the Honorable former Premier Michael Dunkley. The candidates, or those vying for that seat, are Senator Lindsey Simmons of the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party. It's not Rodney King. What's his name? The gentleman for the OBA? Mr. King. I'm so sorry. Robert King. Thank you, Teo. Robert King from the One Bermuda Alliance. And former Premier Sir John Swan is running as an independent. So should be interesting. I think this election could be very telling. I think it may tell us a lot. So we'll keep our eyes close to that, and I'm sure we'll update you and probably discuss it tomorrow morning. Suzanne Ingham says, West, wear white. I think she means whatever day you choose. Yes, by-election C10. She said she'll be voting. All right, so we have a voter in his house. All right. Well, all the best to you in constituency 10. And greetings, everyone. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome the Honorable Minister, Senator, and Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Sport, Owen Darrell, on. We're going to be discussing the Bermuda Day holiday and the parade and the themes and all that good stuff. The daily play is music today. So as you can see, I don't have a co-host. So we'll be, someone will be eligible to win today's prize. Well, eligible to win this week's prize if they win today, and we'll be giving away this week's prize tomorrow on Thursday, since there's no show on Friday due to Bermuda Day holiday. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. So let's just jump right into today's conversation. Just not sure if we're having some issues on YouTube or not. I know it looks like we may be having a couple of issues on YouTube, but apologies if we are. Let's just see. This is live, so I'm gonna test it out for you all. But we may be having some issues on YouTube for those who usually tune in. But all right, let's jump into today's conversation. So, folks, I got quite a few messages on Monday with various people, a couple of entrepreneurs, business people, but also everyday Bermudians who were very concerned about this headline in the Royal Gazette. It said, concessions approved for Hamilton Princess. And I told you on this show before that for Bermuda to be serious in the tourism game, we're going to have to offer concessions because, we just don't have the leverage like some other destinations have, right? We don't. That's the reality. And, it costs a bit more to build in Bermuda. And that's not necessarily because, companies are being greedy, but right down to the employee, there are people that, your labor costs a bit more than it will cost in other places, right? So basically the article says concessions approved for Hamilton Princess. The House of Assembly has approved tax breaks for Hamilton Princess and Beach Club as the renovations at the property continue. So the Junior Minister for Tourism, Kim Swan, said the tourism investment would cover the fourth phase of the hotel's redevelopment project, which involves a $21.2 million investment in the Pembroke Resort. So what it looks like, the concessions offered in the order include full relief from customs duty for 10 years from the operative date of the order, full relief from the hotel occupancy tax for 12 years from the hotel's opening date, full relief from the employer's share of payroll tax for 15 years from the hotel's opening date, and full exemption from land tax for 5 years starting from the 6th anniversary from the hotel's opening date. So there were quite a few people who reached out. They had concerns with this. A lot of their concerns were around why is it that billionaires or the rich keep getting these tax breaks, right? Why is it not normal people getting these tax breaks? So the question of the morning is, how do you feel about government concessions for private businesses? But before we even get there, do you believe government concessions will boost the tourism industry? Yes, just a quick yes or no. Do you believe government concessions will boost the tourism industry? And again, we've had this conversation on this show before. Right? I'm a believer that we just don't have the leverage, so we have to offer government concessions. We have to. I've said this, and I know that's something that some may not want to hear, but we have to. We have to. Unless you have another solution, it's honestly something that we can't get around. I mean, I'm no expert, but we have to. Again, do you believe government concessions will boost the tourism industry? Anika DeShields says, not sure. She's not sure. Teo Dill says, probably, but it's hard to rely on trickle-down economics at this particular point in human history. Okay. I guess that it really comes down to what do we consider a boost, right? What do we consider a boost? Do I believe government concessions will boost the tourism industry? Well, they will give us more hotels, most likely, more rooms, more beds, right? If we consider that a boost, then yes. Will it guarantee us more tourism? That remains to be seen. Will it guarantee us more tourists? That remains to be seen, because there's another element to that. There's the sales and marketing aspect. There's the competitive side. Like, how do we compete with other jurisdictions of similar size and price? Will it boost us? Would it put us in position? Would it give us a better opportunity to attract? Yeah, I do believe so. Will it guarantee us anything? I don't believe so. So what are your thoughts, audience? How do you feel about government concessions for private business? How do you feel about government concessions for private business? Do you think that this is something that we should be doing? Do you think this is something that we need to stop doing? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Government concessions for private business. What do you think? Are you happy with them? Do you think it makes a difference? Oh, interesting. Renee Simmons says, we will never know until we try. We will never know until we try. But Renee, I mean, some people would say we've been trying, right? I mean, remember the government guarantees for the airlines back then. Some people, I still don't think with creative people, we need to do guarantees. We can do promotions rather than guarantees. I remember giving my former organization an idea to do that. To this day, we haven't moved forward with it. But I think we may have had some missed opportunities then. But I agree. We will never know until we try. I think it's worth a shot. I was concerned when I did see in the article, and folks, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the concessions Hamilton Princess were recently, offered. And it includes full relief from customs duty for 10 years from the operative date of the order, full relief from hotel occupancy tax for 12 years from the hotel's opening date, full relief from the employer's share of payroll tax for 15 years from the hotel's opening date, and full exemption from land tax for 5 years, starting from the 6th anniversary from the hotel's opening date. So there were some concerns from people. Obviously, there's always going to be concerns from people, right? And some people who reached out just said, why is it that we keep giving the rich concessions? Why do they keep winning while others? And I think that's what Teo was addressing with the trickle-down economic factor, right? I do think that we've missed opportunities. If we look at the PLP, which is the government, as some people look at them as a black government, then we say, well, since 1998, where's the black-owned hotel? Where's the black bank? Where's the black insurance company? But if we don't look at it like that, and we look at it like, look, we're a normal economy and we need to fix it. And when I say normal, capitalism, right? These are the kind of things we're going to have to do. These are the things we're going to have to do. Again, how do you feel about the government concessions for private businesses, folks? How do you feel about them? Do you believe government concessions will boost the tourism industry? Do you think that they can boost the tourism industry? What are your thoughts on that? Do you believe that we're positioned to do so? Let's go. Charles H. Jeffers II, he says, only if we see the results in a timely fashion. Has work started at Fairmount Southampton yet? Is that deal really done? The longer that hotel is closed, the longer our tourism product will suffer. Well, that's a valid question, Charles. I think you just made me think of something. You kind of said it. Are the results that are going to be tied to these concessions? Meaning, I know I read somewhere that they have to be 70% Bermudian. Let me tell you why I don't like that. As of yesterday, I'm now involved in a suit that I've attached my name to. And it's a racial discrimination suit. And I'm supporting this person in their quest for justice. And one of the things I said to the lawyer is, the facts don't lie. It's a numbers game, right? But be careful of wait for it, how organizations, especially those who benefit from racial bias, utilize numbers. What do I mean by that? When Bill Henbury was the CEO of the Bermuda Tourism Authority, he kept saying we're 90% Bermudian staff. That pissed me off to no end. It's the same thing people say when they say, oh, well, we're 90% black. That don't mean a damn thing if the Bermudians in that organization have no influence or say. They're all at the bottom entry level, right? It don't mean a damn thing if all the black people in the organization are at entry level positions. That's not diversity, that's optics. So I hope that it's more detailed than having 70% Bermudians. No, we want to see Bermudians in positions of influence, making decisions. We don't want Bermudians vacuuming outside the boardroom. We want Bermudians inside the boardroom. So I hope there's a bit more detail to that 70% Bermudian staff part. Teodil says, that's our business model. We're a global reinsurance hub, at least mostly because of the low tax, i.e. concessions business environment. Indeed, Teo, thank you. And again, that's why I said, like, if you look at it from this is a black government perspective. Okay, I see your point. But if you look at it from a global perspective, this is capitalism as it's been for Bermuda. That's how Bermuda became, I guess, relatively successful financially. Then this is the business that we're in. So I concur. Suzanne Ingham says, why are the rich keep getting breaks and we have to pay more? They have things very reversed. Again, Suzanne, it's just the model. It's where we're at. It's the economy that we've had for so long, right? I completely understand your concern with it. I get it, but how do we change that? How do we change that? Shamari Sky says, I would agree if we, the taxpayers, got a local discount on the rooms and restaurants. Do you mean like all the time or like specific times? Like, let's say we know hotels are pretty empty January through March. Would you settle for something like that? Because asking for discounts when in the summer when a hotel can make the most of its money, it's pretty tough to ask, or expect. Charles H. Steffens II says, what percentage are in leadership positions should be the measuring stick? Exactly, Charles. Exactly. And that's my point. I hope that the concessions are more in depth than what has been shared publicly. It would be a shame to just say, 70% of the positions must be held by Bermudians. Okay. Well, of those positions, what percentage of them are in leadership positions? That's what we need to know, right? That's what we need to know. What are your thoughts, though, audience? How do you feel about government concessions for private businesses? We've heard a lot. We've heard quite a lot. I think people are justified in their thinking. I, as a person who has worked in the tourism industry, understand that in order to be in the global business space, and it's not just in tourism, it's pretty much how, as Teo kind of put it, our reinsurance sector was built, right? By offering concessions, offering breaks that they couldn't get in other spaces, back then at least, right? So we have to offer up something. We also have to understand that Bermuda is a very mature destination. And when I say that, people get so confused. I'm not talking about our age, okay? What I mean is we're mature. We don't have much green space to build new resorts. You go in Turks and Caicos, they have plenty of green space to build, as do most other jurisdictions. We don't have that. We also have, our labor is much more costly than a lot of places. Let's not forget, in some spaces similar to ours, those who are building a lot of the hotel properties are foreign labor who are brought in, right? And we know how we Bermudians get when we see foreign labor. So it's a tough one. It's nothing that we can't talk through or work out, but it's definitely worth a conversation and something that we should never stop considering. Never stop considering. It's a tough space for Bermuda. I would say this much, and I say this with the most respect and love for people in Bermuda who work in the tourism space. I am happy that I'm not tasked with working in Bermuda tourism, because the job that they have to do, I'm not a miracle worker. I am not a miracle worker. It is one of the hardest jobs to do right now. with the Fairmont Southampton closed, I don't think Bermudians truly understand what that hotel means, not just for tourism, but our economy. Where were all the comedy shows and the concerts? You know, the weddings and big events. It's tough. Charles H. Jeffers II says, what we do have are too many derelict hotels for a country our size. Yeah, the Elbow Beach. I saw something about that recently as well. Shamari Sky says, I believe a certain number of rooms should be available for discount during peak season and all during slow season. I also believe we should know the true cost of the concessions. Teodil said, Shamari, I'll take it down as a lot. Shamari's suggestion is rock solid in terms of basic fairness. Our government gave them a break to do business. They should give the people who elected that government a break as they do that business. Not saying that's likely to happen, but it's completely reasonable on its face. I see your point, Teo, but the government does for them, private business just isn't going to do for the people. You know that. So I agree with it. I agree with you. We just know as you ended it, that last sentence, not saying that's likely to happen. So we know what it is. All right, let's bring Teo in there for the news break. Don't forget, we have the Honorable Minister Owen Darrell coming up after we're talking about Bermuda Day, folks. We are 2 days out from the unofficial start of what we call Bermuda's favorite season, summer. So stick with us. We'll bring the minister in after the news break.
Morning, Jay. Morning, family. Good to see you.
Hey,
yeah, I'm glad that you understood what I was saying, because just as I said, like on just at a glance, it's perfectly fair and reasonable to expect that kind of reciprocity.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that says any of this, any part of the life that we live is supposed to be fair, right?
You know, Teo, I quote all the time. I love this. Is one of my favorite quotes I've ever said to people. In a fair and just world, there would be no need for charity.
Right.
I completely understand what the brother's saying. I agree with every facet of it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Teo, this is capitalism.
Yeah. Well, and not just capitalism in a globalized world, right? Because the things that made us special, in addition to the low tax business environment, are just so much less relevant now in a 21st century Zoom driven world, right? Mm-hmm. Like it used, like we're just 90 minutes off the coast of the eastern coast of the US. Just our location made a whole lot of sense. Mm-hmm. But now you can do everything that you need on a business level from wherever you are in the world. Like you don't need to be in a place. So now kind of all we got is our robust tradition of delivering solid financial services, like a good track record, and the low tax environment. And there are other places that are changing the way that they do their work and making it more accessible, dropping the taxes below where we can even get them. And so this was inevitable, I think. Mm-hmm. You know, like we were ahead of the game a generation and a half ago. Like our leaders from that time, they saw the future and they got in early. Yeah, but they couldn't have anticipated that all this stuff, which would directly downgrade our market differentiators, you know? Yeah.
I mean, even with perfect foresight, it's and again, it goes back to what I always say, like Bermuda's such a mature destination, and that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. But to Charles' point, we have so many derelict hotels. I don't know. Yeah, it's a big problem, and like I said, no shame to anyone in tourism. I'm just grateful it's not my problem to deal with as an employee in that space.
Yeah, or even as a leader in that space, right? Because like the options are relatively limited.
technically, and this is not on purpose, we do have the Minister of Tourism on today, but he's here for a different convo.
Well, I mean, obviously, our good brother will participate in this conversation at least a little bit.
Well, honestly, it wasn't the intent, but maybe he'll give us some insight. Give us some facts about the concessions, because all I have is what I read in the Gazette and also what people were sharing with me in anger. But hopefully, he can shed some light on what even Shamari Sky had put.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, news.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
The government has got to deliver as much focus on ensuring access to new services and support as it has on developing those resources in the first place. This from Premier David Burt, who shared as much while he thanked the community for their red tape reduction consultation submissions, explaining why they are so valuable.
That we need to have more focus put on the matters of delivering service to the public and making sure that works as efficiently as possible. It's one thing to change laws that people appreciate. People appreciate the fact that there is an increased benefit for young people to have daycare assistance. They appreciate the fact that people can access community college. They appreciate those things. But if those things are not easy to access, then it defeats the purpose. And so we need to work on the implementation as much as we do on actually change the laws and the policies. And that's our focus this year.
Tay, real quickly.
Yeah.
I did go to submit my stuff for the red tape.
Yeah, I remember you talked about it last week.
But I did it too late, so I wasn't able to submit.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, again, we haven't.
I just took long, folks, and I was a hypocrite in saying what needs to be done and didn't do it on time. So this let me be a lesson of what not to do.
Well, we do have a member of cabinet in good standing with us a little bit. Maybe shoot him a couple of detailed WhatsApps and he can slide it on that table. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Use the seize carpe diem, man. Seize the opportunity. Now, in other news, UK law enforcement experts and airport security professionals are helping to upskill their local counterparts in response to the recent series of airport-focused hoax bomb threats across the network of British overseas, including Bermuda. Now, this from Governor Rena Lauji, who shared that since Bermuda's internal security falls under her remit, her office is working on reviewing the national response to the recent airport bomb threat and how to refine that response and improve it in the future. There's a concerted effort by law enforcement agencies in Bermuda, other overseas territories, the UK and the USA in place now to trace and stop the source of these hoaxes. Now, here's where things get interesting. You probably saw the email saying that the reason the threats were made to protest against the unjust incarceration of Americans who traveled to countries who are not insane about gun ownership with ammo in their luggage. Now, as nuts as that sounds, right? These people genuinely don't think they did anything wrong.
Now, at least 4 American tourists potentially facing lengthy prison sentences, and a 5th who served nearly 6 months after what they say was mistakenly bringing ammo in their luggage while on vacation. 40-year-old father of 2 Ryan Watson is now out of jail on bail. He was arrested at the airport April 12th when security found 4 rounds of hunting ammo in his carry-on.
Did you check the bag before you packed it?
We did. I opened it up and kind of give it a little shimmy. Didn't see anything, didn't hear anything.
The TSA is now acknowledging its officers missed the ammo when his bag was screened at the checkpoint in Oklahoma City April 7th.
I'll share this very publicly. As a gun owner, I have separate stuff, locked box with my ammo and my firearm. Ignorance is no excuse, as I've always been told.
That's a very generous way to put it,
right?
But I'm with you. I'm with you.
It's not, and that's not to say people don't make honest mistakes. But if it's one thing I was told when I came to the U.S. is the same laws that apply in Bermuda may not apply here. You've got to do as the Romans do. So the arrogance, like outright arrogance, that if I had something in my again. No, if it was placed there by someone else,
That's different.
That's different.
Yeah.
But if that, folks, come on, there's consequences. It's the arrogance for me, Teo.
No. That is the key point, right? Like, I don't know if you or the audience knew this, but India, like the country of India, has really lax gun and ammo ownership access. Like billion plus people, they can get a gun without having to try too hard. It's about as easy as the US.
Mm-hmm.
You never will catch somebody from Mumbai fly into Turks with some ammo in their luggage, because they know in my country is not the world.
Correct.
Right? Like what I'm accustomed to is not the baseline position.
Correct.
Drives me nuts, man.
I think that's what bothers me. And again, we all make mistakes. None of us is perfect. But even through those mistakes, we have to sometimes accept, the consequences of our actions. Again, my stuff's locked away in it wouldn't be near my luggage. I would not use it simply because I know sometimes things can get forgotten. Look, man, I left a dirty pair of underwear in my part of my suitcase, and when I went to pack for another trip, I'm like, ooh, Jamal, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? So I get stuff happens, but it's like, learn from this, folks. Learn from this. Don't be that person.
Yeah, and don't claim innocent mistake when you have ammunition in you. Don't say that. Say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I was not being sensible. Don't try and make it seem like it's not a big deal, because in this country in particular, if somebody accidentally brings a bunch of ammunition, I want them to get hemmed up, because I don't want them bullets floating around. There's too many here in the first place, man.
Accountability. And if you follow Turks and Caicos for the last couple of years, they've had an issue. They've had a problem with gun violence. So I completely understand the seriousness of it. And I just want people to, especially our American brethren, stop being so arrogant in situations like this. You would look at how many look at people who come across the border into the US. You want them to abide by your laws of the land. So why is it a problem abiding by others' laws of the land?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't get with that expectation.
Yeah.
Well, I do think I know where it comes from, but it's gross and it should stop.
Indeed.
Now, we have some other news from the governor's office, who shared that as of June 1st, Major Duncan Simons will be the new commanding officer of the Royal Bermuda Regiment. Major Simons is succeeding Lieutenant Colonel Ben Beasley in the position. The soon-to-be RBRCO underlined his interest in improving the institution, saying, quote, "I'm committed to continuing the regiment's push towards a more modern and professional culture."
Well, we had Major Duncan Simons on last week, and really, really enjoyed the conversation that we had with him. I had no idea that he was about to be named the CEO. Look, I feel how I feel about conscription. That's my experience with the Bermuda Regiment. But I think when you have the right people, and I would say just based on the conversation we had last week, he's the right person to really move Bermuda forward in that space, to attract people who want to give back to their country in that way. My hope is that we can. My overall hope is that the regiment can support the Bermuda Police Service in the spaces where they need assistance due to a shortage. So all the best to him.
Yeah, no, Duncan's a good, I should say Major Simon's a good brother. And I'm glad that he's in the space. Finally, a new crypto exchange has been launched here in Bermuda. It's called the Hashkey Global Exchange, launched by an Asian digital asset service firm called the Hashkey Group. This is a big deal since the firm achieved unicorn status in the venture capital startup space after a fundraising round that put together nearly $100 million from interested investors. They aspire to big things at the Hashkey Global Exchange, aiming to establish one of the world's largest clusters of licensed exchanges within the next 5 years, surpassing every other current regulated crypto exchange on the planet. But just to maybe temper your excitement, this is how almost every new exchange describes their next 5 years in future. They're all shoot for the moon, as they say. So, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like crypto is like a bad word these days. I don't know.
I wouldn't go that far, but I understand why you say that.
I just read tweets. Don't mind me.
Oh, well, as far as the weather's concerned, it's currently not looking so good for a clear, sunny Bermuda day at the moment. Those extended patches of low pressure that have kept the skies gray and with a bunch of rain nearby for the last day or so, they should remain in our airspace into the weekend. So that means over the next 72 hours, the skies should remain at least partly cloudy with intermittent showers showing up through the holiday. So keep your fingers crossed that this year's festivities don't get rained out, because that would suck.
I'll tell you what, after what the minister delivered last year in Department of Culture, rain gave us one of the best damn times we ever had last year. I mean, I watched it, right? I was like, damn, I missed a good time. So the rain ain't stopping the show, at least with the people we've got there now. But again, I get you. We definitely want good weather. So hope for that too. Days of the year. And this is right up your alley, folks. Today it is Buy a Musical Instrument Day. Buy a musical instrument day.
Great.
Yeah.
That's a good day.
Question to the audience is, what musical instrument did you have during your childhood? But Teo, you play guitar, right?
Not well, but yes. Yeah. I think, and this is like a purely personal position, but I think not enough Black folks play the guitar. You know what I mean? And it's such a shame, because the history of rhythm and blues and rock and roll, like, it's all tied up in the culture of the diaspora. And I'm always so excited when I see a young Black person carrying a guitar, because it's one of those instruments that isn't that expensive. And you can play, get decent at it pretty quickly if you practice. And it's portable. Like, it's a perfect instrument. So I hope, more folks consider getting their kid a guitar for Christmas, because it could change their life.
I always wanted to play the piano. So what audience, we asked, what instrument did you play or have? John the Butterfield says piano. I always legit wanted to learn how to play the piano. We've got Maya Palacio says the cello and piano. Maya knows how to play piano. She got a voice on. I didn't know she knew instruments, but she's just good like that. Recorder. Remember the recorder? Didn't everyone have one of those?
Yo. The
cymbals. Oh God, those things were annoying.
No, that's how you knew you weren't good at music class. If they put you on the cymbals of the triangle.
This guy, the clarinet says Anika De Shields, 5 years at the Barclay Institute. The piano, Marquita Lee. The violin does the recorder count for people who, well, like me, who couldn't. Piano and saxophone. All right, Charles H. Jeff II. We have Charles Shine here with Jeff is here. All right. We've got the flute, played in high school, kazoo, and recorder. Look, everyone played the recorder, right? Everyone.
Yeah, that don't really count. You just had to do that.
Yeah. Shana Smith says piano till 19, clarinet and violin. What is the clarinet again, Taylor?
It's the thin black and silver one. It's about like that long, and you go like that, and I shouldn't make that face.
Maya says some really great Black guitar players in Bermuda, Derek G and Hannah Bashar, to name a
shout out to Derek. Yeah. Really gifted.
All right. You got Sheldon Fox says piano, cornet, trumpet, and organ. I still play. This is the regiment band leader. See, of course. All right. Well, let's bring Taylor. I'm gonna bring the minister. You think let's play on him a bit. You think the minister Owen Darrell played an instrument?
I'm confident he did. Now, I'm not so confident he was good at it. But I'm sure he had lessons.
Yeah, but Taylor, we just said the recorder doesn't count, so we can't put.
No, I'm saying outside of that, I'd bet like a small amount of money that he took music lessons when he was young.
You know what? He's a St. Paul and AME guy, so he probably did something. Yeah. They probably let him beat the drums or something like that. Yeah. All right. See you soon. All
right. Take care, man. Thanks a lot, y'all.
Thanks. All right. We're going to take a quick break. Come back with the minister of, he's got a long one, tourism, culture, and sport. I think I said it right. We're going to talk about Bermuda Day. And don't let Teo rain on you all's parade. We're going to have a good holiday. 2 minutes, 27 seconds. We'll be back right here. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's. so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
It took 14 days to build your business plan. 6 months to build the courage to leave your day job. 3 weeks to find the perfect location. It took 10 days to outfit your space just right. And 1 day before your first client walked in the door. All totaled, it took you a full year to get your business operational. And this is just the beginning. To the entrepreneurs, the risk takers, the people that shape our economic community, we salute you and are here for you every step of the way. BEDC, providing knowledgeable, progressive, professional, and innovative support to Bermuda businesses.
Summer is almost here. Dive into the season with dog floats and dog pools. Enjoy 20% off West Paws dog floating toys and shop our life jackets for safety in the water this summer. Get all your summer needs before the holidays and events begin. Don't forget to stock up on poo bags and check out Dicky Bags, the poo bag holder that locks in the smell until you can dispose of it. Remember, even dogs need sunblock, so visit Noah's Ark today, Bermuda's most trusted animal supply store for all your summer essentials, and ask us about our rewards program.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Jamel Hartman here. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, please do not forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Without further ado, let's bring our guest for the day. We've got the Honorable Minister Owen Darrell. He is the Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Sport, and the Senate lead. Let's bring him in. We're talking Bermuda Day. Hey, Minister, what's poppin'?
Hey, Janelle, how are you? Good morning. How's things?
Well, I'm fine. You heard Teo Disney, you talking about you probably played the recorder and stuff.
Don't worry. I got a couple of things for you. So I started playing drums at the age of 4.
See, I got the drums right.
Yep. And then I moved into playing the violin at the age of 4.
Dang.
I then played the piano probably from the age of 7.
Okay.
And then from the age of 12, I played the trumpet. So I had a couple of music lessons in my life. And yes, I was in many choirs at St. Paul AME Church. You were right. Here you go.
Hey, at the end of the day, you couldn't go to an AME church and not have some sort of music in you.
Exactly. So
yeah, I only showed up to YPD, folks, so don't put that on me. I know. Actually, before we get into today's conversation, it wasn't the intent to have the tourism convo previously, but obviously you're here. So did you want to provide any facts based on what, because as I said, what I shared was based on what I saw in the RG and also what people were sharing with me, their personal opinions when they were writing, asking, are we going to be talking about this?
Yeah. One thing I would like to encourage all Bermudians to do is actually look at the Tourism Investment Act. Have a read of it, especially the amendments that this government made a couple of years ago. Because what you have seen in the news recently is the hotel concessions for many hotels. We did Bermudiana Beach recently. We did the Azura. We did Ariel Sands, and we did Hamilton Princess. You are absolutely right. However, if you look in that act in detail, you will see that these concessions are actually open to local businesses as well. They're open to restaurants. They're open to attractions. The only problem is we have not had many applications. So I encourage everyone to look at these concessions that are available, apply, and then we can have some coverage about other businesses that are benefiting and can benefit from the Tourism Investment Act. So I'm glad you guys brought it up, but I just did want to make that clear that in order for us to grant these concessions, there have to be applications. And maybe, that's something that I will look into doing more of, is promoting the fact that these concessions are available for local businesses that are in the tourism industry.
Well, I was going to say to you, I think just sitting in a law office yesterday regarding employment and saying Black people just don't apply. And I'm like, well, do Black people know about these opportunities?
Absolutely.
So maybe Bermudians just don't know. Maybe we can have another conversation on another day about that, how people can stay in tune and understand the opportunities that lie before them. So thank you for providing that info. All right, cool. So look, today we're talking about Bermuda Day. As the minister overseeing culture, just let us know what, because I think it's something with energy. I did read something, but what is this year's theme for Bermuda Day?
So the theme is culture equals energy. And I heard Teo and yourself refer to last year's parade. And, when we come this time of year, you see past videos, you see people reliving the experiences of last year, the year before, and the energy that was provided by not only the participants, but also the spectators in some of these, horrid wet conditions last year is something that we just decided that we were going to carry on. Hopefully not the weather, but we're going to carry on the energy to this year's parade. So we're really excited. We have a record number of participants. The lineup is at 66. That is the most that we've had in 10 years. We've got performers that have returned to the parade after years of hiatus. So I'm looking forward to an amazing day. And I did hear you and Teo discuss weather. Right now, it looks to be a little cloudy, but I know the performers, even the runners, and that will come before the parade, do not mind a little bit of cloud cover on Bermuda Day.
Yeah, it can be all sun and heat, right? Let's talk about the role Bermuda Day plays in bringing Bermudians together. How important is that?
It's really important. I mean, Bermudians sometimes struggle to get up and be at work for 9 a.m. But on Bermuda Day, people will be in town 6:30, 7:30 to have their spots set up. You ever seen thousands of people having breakfast on a sidewalk in the city of Hamilton? This is what Bermuda Day brings out. People line the roads for the runners from early in the morning. So it is as we call it in Bermuda, the unofficial start of summer. And whatever people choose to do, it leads us right into the summer months and all that comes with the culture and festive times of living in this beautiful island.
Yeah. And again, amazing. I sent an email last year. I might have included you to the Department of Culture, just giving major props because again, keep that going despite the weather. I mean, I literally lived through every last person I saw. And again, props, because it just shows that we still know how to have good, safe fun despite the elements and conditions. But outside of that, how has your ministry continued to support the efforts of the Department of Culture to keep participation high? And as you said, the most in 10 years.
Well, in a lot of times, things start with relationships, right, and communication. And I'd like to give a shout out to Miss Carlita Lodge. If anyone has ever had anything to do with the Bermuda Day Parade, you will know that it starts with a conversation, usually with Carlita. She's been doing this for years. She knows most of the participants by name, and the relationships that she has built with the community partners in this parade has helped us to tweak it and make it even better. And this is all under the leadership of the Director of Culture, Dr. Kim Dismont Robinson. But in those relationships, Jamal, you would have seen that many participants were beginning to tell us that participating in this parade was becoming cost prohibitive. And they said, listen, just to get the costumes on island, just to provide water, just to provide a truck for our music is becoming something that we are struggling to afford. So last year we looked at it. We went out to community partners and said, how can we assist these groups that come out to entertain us? And we came up with the Bermuda Day Fund, where private entity can put into this fund. And I'm happy that last year we were able to help about 10 groups. I think it was like $1,500 each. And this year we've helped more, to the tune of about 2,500 for groups that have applied. And this is a direct result as to why our numbers are back up to levels that we expected, 10, 20 years ago.
And that's good. And audience, if you have any questions or comments for the minister, please send them through. We'll get through as many as possible. Department of Culture says, yep, culture equals energy. And Cosmopolitan Bermuda says, I can agree with minister. Shamari Sky does have a question. Do you believe that our tourism product is a finished book, or is it still being actively written? Let's stop there. I have a question. How does tourism and Bermuda Day collide? How can we get those two to work simultaneously together to make Bermuda Day one of the biggest attractions for those outside of Bermuda?
Well, that is the work of the Bermuda Tourism Authority. Their arm is sales and marketing. I did have a view of their Instagram page yesterday, and I was quite surprised with the promotion that they are doing to try to get people that are on island to be part of the festivities. They set up their tourism stand right there by the bird cage. I know Hamilton Princess are encouraging their guests to get out and enjoy the festivities. And, this is something that we can even do earlier in the year and say, listen, this is our unofficial start of the holiday weekend. And I do know that when the government moved the actual day to Bermuda Day to make it coincide with a weekend close to Memorial Day and other holidays in Canada, that was part of the vision to say, you know what, maybe we can take this on and use it to promote tourists to come to Bermuda. With that said, I have invited some overseas guests to come this year. We will have the Minister of Tourism from the Cayman Islands, the Honorable Kenneth Bryan. He is also the chairman of the Caribbean Tourism Organization. So he and his delegation will be here to take in Bermuda, and hopefully they take what they've seen here back to other parts of the Caribbean region to say, hey, listen, this is what Bermuda is doing to celebrate their culture. We're also inviting the Minister of Culture from St. Kitts, the strong connection and the ties between St. Kitts and Bermuda. So the Honorable Samuel Duggins will also be here for Bermuda Day. And this is what we're trying to get into, to put cultural connections on the map so that they can take these back to their region, and we can have maybe more from their countries and others come to help and celebrate our culture with us in years to come. So I know you asked about the Tourism Authority. They are doing their part, but it's up to us as well. I remember I've always told my friends, everybody wants to invite their friends for cup match, but I've always told my friends, hey, listen, if you can't come in the middle of the summer, think about coming in May. That's our Heritage Month. That's.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I want to go back to something you said earlier. You said some groups who haven't participated in a while have been on hiatus. Are you privy? Like, can you give us an idea of who may be showing up?
A couple groups that you might know well. We have what we're calling it is the year of the majorette, and we're seeing groups such as the Hamilton Parish Hot Peppers. They've been out previewing and they've been out practicing. I was happy and lucky enough to have them at a press conference with me a couple of days ago. So we have the return of Hamilton Parish Hot Peppers. We have the return of DCR, Dynamic City Rockettes. If Rosina or Carla are listening, we are hoping to see you strutting down the street. Everybody knows that move, Jamal. And also the return of the ex-artillery majorettes. So it is a return of three majorette groups. The Filipino Association, I didn't realize this, have not been in the parade for 15 years. We are glad to have them back. The Jamaican Association is back in the parade. And then you have the staples that we have every year, like Rated E, Dance Squad, Bermuda Squad, and PHC Majorette. So we've got our regulars, but we also have some that people have not seen in years. So it's an exciting time to be in the city on Friday and watch us celebrate our culture, celebrate our heritage.
Man, I did not know DCR was back.
DCR is back. Give Aunt Rosina a call and ask if she is ready.
I'm excited for that. And Hot Peppers, big up to Hamilton Parish Hot Peppers. The Yet sisters down there, so we're gonna be looking out for them. So I honestly, I'm happy to see that. Let's talk about Grand Marshals. Just explain, because I know this question comes up to sometimes via social media. What is a Grand Marshal? How they chosen, and who are some of the Grand Marshals at this year's parade?
Well, to be fair, and I'll take responsibility for this. The Grand Marshals are actually chosen by the minister. With the department give recommendations, and we look at the recommendation and say, yeah, this person needs to be honored, and there are reasons why. And as you alluded to earlier, my ministry is tourism, culture, and sport. And I thought it was important that these Grand Marshals that we choose touch on the entire ministry. So you would see, and he popped up a minute ago, Danny O'Connor was chosen for his work that he is doing and transforming the tourism landscape. You see what Danny O'Connor is doing at Whitehorse. You see what he's doing at Tobacco Bay. You see what he's doing up at Snorkel Park. And we felt that, he needed to be recognized and needed to be honored. So Danny O'Connor is one of our Grand Marshals, and he will be representing, the industry of tourism. We have Ms. Liz Pimentel, who is a longtime creative in Bermuda. Liz Pimentel is the owner of, I don't want to get it wrong, In Motion Dance School. And she has been inspiring the local dance community with others for a very long time. Dr. Kaiwan Brown. We can't talk about the Hot Peppers, Hamilton Parish, without talking about the community work that Dr. Kaiwan Brown has done in the community, especially in his community of Hamilton Parish. And then he continues to do, and a lot of times without people knowing. So Dr. Kaiwan Brown is actually a Grand Marshal. In the realm of sport, as my ministry does cover sport, we have Brian Wellman. Brian Wellman was a triple jumper back in the day. I think he came 4th or 5th at the Atlanta Olympics. The triple jump pit up at the Dame Flora Duffy Stadium is named in his honor. So we are honoring Brian Wellman for breaking records and inspiring generations. I'm sure Janai Panchief would have been inspired by the work of Brian Wellman back in the day. And the final one is the late Judith Simons, who, as everyone knows, was the president of the Bermuda Olympic Association. She put Bermuda on the map worldwide for sports and the Olympics. So those are our Grand Marshals, and that is the reason why we decided that they should be honored. They cross the entire spectrum of the ministry, and I just hope that when they do roll down Front Street, that the parade viewers are able to wave and give them their flowers that they so rightfully deserve.
I absolutely love that. And I'm just going to go back to the first one you mentioned. Obviously, I have a lot of love for all of them. Brian Wellman, Dr. Kaiwan Brown in particular, I know personally. But Danny O'Connor is interesting because I've said to people recently about him, I said, to me, he doesn't get the credit he deserves for the tourism industry. Maybe it's because he doesn't own a hotel, but for me, the energy he has for a space that has been neglected and what he's continued to do, I'm grateful. I'm happy for him. And I really do hope that we continue to give people their flowers while they're here, honor them, show them love, respect them, but most of all, support them. Support them. So amazing. Congratulations to all the Charles H. Jefferson II says Danny O'Connor should be a member of the BTA board, a tourism professional, not a tourism entity. What a concept. Again, I don't want to go there, but I'm just saying that if you know what he's done, this is awesome for him. So, Minister, congratulations on all your choices. Let's talk about the parade itself. People, obviously, my aunt, she watches the show. I told her Maya's going to be a bit disappointed, but my aunt reached out in the family chat group the other day, just 2 days ago. So what, Sunday or Monday, and said, hey, I didn't know that the Bermuda Day race was ending on Court Street. We talked about that so many times on this show. So that said, we have to understand some things go over people's heads. What's the route this year? Has it differed for the parade? Like, what should people know about the parade route?
The parade route has not changed. The parade route will leave by All Boys Point. It would head down Front Street eastward. It would then turn left onto Court Street At Church Street, it will turn left again. And just past Marketplace, it will turn right onto Cedar Avenue, and it will continue down to the corner of Marsh Folly and Dutton Avenue. That is the same route that we've had for the last at least 4 years. The running race is finishing on Court Street. We have talked to Dr. Gina Tucker and her committee. We support them in what they do, but the running race is completely separate from the parade route. So the parade route has not changed. So there are a couple of sections that are changing this year where you won't be able to watch the runners and the parade at the same time. However, the actual parade route has not changed. And like I said, we are happy to support Dr. Gina Tucker. We've also supported the Sinclair Packwood Memorial Cycle Race. So we have all bases covered. However, the parade route has not changed.
All right. Before you head out, just let people know what they can expect out of this year's parade. What kind of culture equals energy? What can they expect from what is going to be taking place?
Well, we're going to see a building of what we saw last year. Last year we got to the interesting experience of seeing Gombeys perform with that energy. However, they did not have on their full regalia. So we're looking to see them back in the bright colors. I was seeing some pictures of some Gombe hats that were done. So we're looking to see these participants bring the energy. I would like to say that there's also things for small children. I know when my son was small, he couldn't sit and watch the entire parade. So we have a free fun castle that's being sponsored by the department on Front Street if you needed to stop by there. I need to say this, Jamal, that Brooksfield, I want to say thank you to Brooksfield. You will notice that there was a major construction development that is starting on Front Street, and the road kind of juts out a bit. They are going to move that back. So all the scaffolding and construction will be removed for Bermuda Day so that we can have a straight run down Front Street. Thank you to the Corporation of Hamilton for their sponsorship, as well as the works of other ministries that help to bring this all together. But it's going to be, as they say, a Bermuda day. Culture equals energy. And I look forward to seeing all on the parade. Well, I will get there early. I think my first media interview is 8 a.m. Then I have to go on the other side of town. I do judging and then host guests at the flagpole. And then I will finish the day in true fashion by spending time at my family camp. So we continue with some of the traditions that have always been.
I thought he was going to say Dance Nagombias. And Charles, don't worry, I was going to call him out on this Jamal nonsense that he called.
Jamal, yes.
Yeah, but real quick,
my apologies.
We've got someone named Lovin' Auntie Lori on Instagram says, "Hi from New York. We love our Bermuda. You should have a group of tourists walking in the parade. It's so much fun to watch." That's interesting.
Yeah, we've had that last year. We had the hockey team was visiting from Cal. The lineup will be released today. That is something that they hold near and dear to them. So the lineup, we have 66 participants. The lineup will be released today. I did take a glance of it yesterday, and I cannot confirm or deny if we have an overseas group. But I know even your co-host, Jamal Sancha, and I have talked. I mean, remember years ago, they had the Howard University band that has been here. So this is something that we have invited international participants. I'm not sure if we have one this year, but it's something that we are looking at, something that we have started initial discussions. And I know Sancho will probably be sending me, as Teo says, a direct message relatively soon regarding what we can do and how we can reinstitute some of these overseas participants.
That's right. We've got another one. Karen Simmons asking, where's the bike race finishing? Is that Court Street as well, or Don Bernard Park,
The bike race is continuing. It's finishing in the same place, which is straight down Cedar Avenue. They finished right by the St. Teresa's Church there. That's where their finish is. We've got a couple of new Gombe groups, Jamal.
3 new groups. Tell us about them.
We've got SMS. We've got one called the Phoenix Gombe Troop and one called Vibe Tribe. So those are the 3 new Gombe groups. And you will be very surprised. You will be very surprised to see the placement of one of these groups. it's interesting. I'm not going to give too much away, but I think I've given enough of a hint that you will be surprised to see where one of them has actually asked to be placed. So that's a good thing.
Because traditionally, Gumbays were at the end of the parade when
Absolutely.
I was growing up. So I'm interested to see where they'll be placed. I've got a question for you, Minister, because we know it's not Bermuda Day, as you saw. If you follow, hopefully you follow Bermuda Culture on Instagram. They had an Instagram post yesterday about marking spots. So, Minister, we have a very valid question. Is your spot marked?
I have been invited to my family spot, and there was a full conversation about that last night. And I've been made aware that I will have somewhere to sit on Friday morning.
All right, Minister.
How about that for an answer?
All right, we appreciate that.
It's interesting. Let's talk about that for 1 second. I know you have to go, but you remember years ago, the Corporation of Hamilton used to send out press releases about ripping up people's tape, and you can't have it down before 24 hours. And I haven't seen any press releases like that this year. And I want to say, thank you for the powers that be who have seemed to kind of eased off that approach. Allow it, the marking of tape and spots has become, a respected and respectable practice now. And people are very respectable. Please, I will say this. When the parade is ending and you're packing up all of your dishes and your chairs and your tents, one of the first things you should do is remove the tape that you put down.
There you go. Yeah, we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago because there's been some situations where people are, that's my spot, getting a bit aggressive with others, whether or not it should be like the corporation should do some spots. Well, okay, on this street, you can, pay for this spot, minimal fee, $10. I think Teo suggested something like that just to avoid that. I think if we're all adults, we don't need that kind of supervision. And my hope is that we can all be adults respectfully, choose our spots and get along. I mean, it's Bermuda Day after all.
And share your fried chicken afterwards, So
I mean, food's always a good way to bring us together. You mentioned the schedule's coming out. Where can people go to learn more information about this year's festivities?
The Daily will be covering the participants, I think, in tomorrow's Daily, the Royal Gazette. Also, you can go on culture.bm, and you also can go on Instagram, all of the Instagram channels for the ministry. I think it's Culture. Also, the Department of Sport and Recreation will also put it up. And I know BTA will probably tag it as well. So you will be able to see, starting probably this afternoon, the lineup, the participants, and, get yourselves ready for an extremely positive and energetic May 24th parade. It is May 24th this year.
Yeah, it is. It is. Man, it's an awesome conversation. Thank you for that. From the Grand Marshals to the majorettes, returning majorettes, to the cultural performers, and to the new Gumbay groups. So what's the total of Gumbay groups troops this year?
Total number of Gumbay troops, we have eight Gumbay troops performing this year.
Wow.
Yep. So we got the traditions. I mean, let's not forget to call them out. The places we've got the Ward Gumbays, we've got Gumbay Evolution, we've got Gumbay Warriors. We have those. Those are your staples of the community. H&H.
Yeah.
You've got your staples, and then we have the three new ones. So we've got Gumbays covered in this parade and majorettes. And I will tell you this: that one question that I've asked, my older aunties, I saw one of them listening earlier, will always ask, well, do you have any floats this year? I can tell you that with this increase in participants also is the increase in floats. My dad and his friends from the old Elliott School, they have been working feverishly to put their float in. We've got Cedar Bridge, we've got other primary schools, departments and government have put in floats. So it's going to be what we are used to in years going by, and I am excited to be the minister responsible and be able to allow culture to shine on our biggest day of the year as far as we're concerned.
One last question. For those who may be second shot in overseas, it will be televised once again, streaming on CITV, correct?
Live on CITV. Gavin Smith as well as Tina Evans are going to be your hosts. And there we go. A participant lineup, later today. There you go.
All right. Not for a lack of resources, folks. Go to Bermuda Culture on Instagram or culture.bm. Like the minister said, the amount of resources, BTA, the Royal Gazette, there's a place for everyone to find out information about this year's parade. Minister, anything else you want to say before you head out?
I want to say thank you, Jamal, to you and your co-host. I think this was a very fruitful discussion. I actually feel excited about it. So I know you will be watching online and encouraging others to participate in Bermuda Day. To everyone that is running, I know that's not our department, but it is something I've seen the newspaper today where a couple of friends are getting together to raise money for charity. Some people run as kind of a bucket list item. I encourage any and everyone who is a part of Bermuda Day, whether you are part of the setup, whether you are part of the making of costumes, or you are participating, or you are going out to support those that are participating. I just want to say thank you. Culture equals energy. And, this is our heritage. I am excited.
Indeed. Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Sports, Senator the Honorable Owen Darrell, thank you so much. Enjoy your holiday, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, folks, thank you. If you appreciated that conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and we're going to do the daily play and final thoughts on today's show. So stick with us. We'll be back in 55 seconds.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Pair with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear. You can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
All righty, welcome back to the Big Show. Thanks again to the Honorable Minister Owen Darrell for joining us, talking about this year's Bermuda Day festivities. Thanks again to the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can have these conversations on a regular basis. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We want to ensure that everyone knows what's popping for this year's Bermuda Day holiday. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, X, sorry, not Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, audience, it's music today. And the first person to guess the correct answer correctly on my screen will be eligible for this week's prize. All right, here we go. Oh, this is easy. What well-known R&B artist's wife is named Chrissy Teigen? All right, and Sheldon Fox, we have a winner. So Sheldon, well, everyone got it. Sheldon Fox, Anika DeShields, Shanna Smith, Marquita Lee, even Charles H. Jeffs II, everybody got it. All right, so Sheldon Fox came up first, so we'll give it to Sheldon Fox. So he joins Stacy and Sheldon, you'll be in the draw for tomorrow. Give him some props. I'm glad everyone kind of knew that. Didn't think people tuned into R&B music anymore. All right, let's wrap it up. Real quickly, as far as tourism concessions, I'll be honest with you, I was unaware that Bermudian businesses had the same opportunities to apply for the same concessions that others were. So hopefully we can get the minister back to actually talk about the concessions in the future, because I think this is an opportunity for Bermuda businesses to, and again, it has to be, to me, it has to be tied to results, as Charles H. Jeffs II said earlier, results. They have to be tied to results. So hopefully the concessions are tied to results that deliver for Bermuda, the economy and its people. As far as the Bermuda Day holiday, I'm excited. I have not been to the Bermuda Day since 2019. My story is a bit more personal, but I'll be making it back soon. I just have to build up my emotional confidence to actually be present in person again. But 2019 was the last time I was there, but I always feel the energy. I'm grateful to CITV, Tina Evans, who's been doing it for years, Miss Whalen, and I think Gavin, who done it last year as well, for the energy. My hope is that I say this respectfully to them, less talk and more focus on the parade this year. I say that respectfully. I say it respectfully. Last year I was a bit angry. I didn't get to see, you're looking at a group and then it just cuts away. I want to see more of the people in the parade. When commentating, it's about what people are on there to look at and see, which is the parade, not myself, the commentator. So that's my advice as one to the other. And of course, you probably have a lot for me in this show, but yeah, hopefully we get to see a lot more of the parade this year, and enjoy all that makes Bermuda and Bermudians special. So thank you to the minister, and let's see what that lineup. Big props to the returning majorettes and to the new Gombe troops. I'm looking forward to it. And of course, Teo's probably really looking forward to the Portuguese dances. You saw him dancing last week, folks. All righty. Here's your daily inspiration for the day. We are all gifted. That is our inheritance. Athol Waters. Do with that what you will. Folks, please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. I am is out. Peace.